All right. Welcome back to the Running with Dave podcast, episode 2, A Comfortable Pace, putting those miles in the bank. Thanks for joining me here again today, especially as I'm settling into my form and style as I get through these podcasts. Certainly a new medium for me, so I hope they're coming together all right. My goal is really to spit out a large volume of maybe 8 to 20 minute, easily digestible podcasts on a variety of running related topics. So you can really bounce through those and grab the topics that really tickle you. Uh, in these early episodes, I really want to focus on the foundational components of your training before we expand into some broader topics like maybe race strategy, how do you earn or position yourself for a college scholarship, running while pregnant. Don't worry, I won't be the one covering that. I'll bring in some moms who have some experience. But like I said, I think early on it's good to start with the foundational things, build from the bottom up rather than and jumping around and taking all the other pieces of the cake before we build that strong foundation. So this episode will build off the previous episode a little bit. In the last episode, we discussed the best or maybe the easiest way to improve as a runner. And that was the annoying advice I have for everyone, which is just run more miles. And we split that up into two subcategories, talking about first, how do you build those new miles? How do you get to those new miles? What's a good way to do it on a weekly basis? We talked about adding about 5 miles a week or 10% of your weekly mileage once you're over 50 miles a week, working within cycles within that. So 4 or 5 week cycles, 3 weeks up, 1 week down, 4 weeks up, 1 week down. And maybe we'll talk about training cycles a little more in a future podcast, but that's also something where it's really important to work with your coach on new mileage. The other side of that coin was how fast should I do new miles? How fast should I do those daily runs? And we talked about a comfortable pace, conversational pace, maybe something where you can carry a basic conversation with a running partner, or even if you're going to talk to yourself. That's a good way to test it, especially in these trying times where we're all doing our best to keep our distance from one another as we navigate our way through this global pandemic that's going on. So it's a good opportunity to maybe talk to yourself on a run and make sure that you're doing an easy, comfortable, conversational pace. But yeah, that's a good rule of thumb there. But looking into those two, I really want to jump into the second, the comfortable pace, the how fast should daily runs be, as this is really one of the most fundamental portions of your training regimen that a lot of people get really wrong. I think it really boils down to, in the first place, knowing the purpose of each run. So when you're going out, knowing the purpose of what you're trying to achieve, and that may come down to very easily thinking about, well, is this an easy run? Is it a workout? Is it a race? What's the goal of the type of workout that you're doing? Is it just increasing fitness? Is it maintenance? Is it aerobic capacity? Is it anaerobic capacity? Maybe it's VO2 max, it's speed, it's endurance, or a combination of these factors. But today I really want to work on that portion that people just get dead wrong, which is easy runs, those maintenance miles. Yeah. So first, what is the purpose of an easy run or maintenance miles? Well, we're building your engine. We're putting miles in the bank to build up your tank. And what I'm talking about is your cardiovascular respiratory systems. This is increasing your muscle capacity and targeting those endurance-based slow twitch muscle fibers. These are those little buddies that keep you going on those long runs. It's also strengthening your heart muscles, those little bits that keep your engine thumping. And at the same time, you're increasing oxygen carrying capacity and your lungs efficiency. So the efficiency of your lungs and their ability to deal with the air that's coming in, but at the same time, your blood's ability to carry oxygen. So you're gaining all these efficiency points across multiple spectra. That's just going to make you a better runner overall, no matter what your end goal. In the heart of training, these runs are really important for flushing out all that junk, that lactic acid that's in your legs from previous workouts or races, and just helping you feel a little bit better. But how can we best engage these systems? I think This work is really about time on your feet. It's days, weeks, months, and years of just miles under your belt that really develop these systems and give you that strength to build on, and that all your races will come out of. Um, there's no amount of speed training that can allow you to skip the daily maintenance runs, those runs that build up those systems and that engine. Uh, and these runs are really about control. Like I said previously, if you aren't sure if you're going fast enough, you got to slow down. Get comfortable. Get into a pace that you can cruise in. You see, the issue is many runners have no difference between race pace and easy run pace. Uh, First, this makes easy runs way less enjoyable. You're just going to be banging yourself against the wall. Uh, but second, you're also stealing from your workouts and your race efforts. Those times when you're fine tuning and tweaking into showing off all the hard work you've done at the race. Don't go and leave a race out on your easy day. And with that, don't go dancing around in some gray area between race pace and an easy run pace just because you're tough. Um, and I know that's tough to get into, especially as you're getting better and you're getting excited about it. Um, but it takes a lot of control, and that's a really important part of easy days. And that's why I say, going back to that point, if you're not sure if you're going fast enough, just slow down a little. Um, yeah, I made this mistake when I was a sophomore in college. I thought, I'm going to really have a breakout season. I'm going to train my butt off. I'm going to run more miles. I'm going to run faster miles, and I'm going to crush it. Everything I do, I'm going to crush it. And I was running. I added about 40% to my daily or my weekly mileage, and was running under 6 minute pace for everything I was doing because I saw that Steve Prefontaine does that, so I'm gonna do that, or did that, and so I'm gonna do that. And what I ended up doing was getting a stress fracture in my femur, which is not an easy feat and not an easy thing to get back from. So what it ended up being was a huge learning experience for me to be out for what ended up being 9 months with various stress fractures that came out of that series of injuries. It cost me a full indoor and outdoor season and almost a cross country season in college, but it gave me a lot of insight and running wisdom. And I guess what this all boils down to is it's really important to make sure you're going at a comfortable enough pace that you're not going to go blast your legs on some easy run, and getting in your long sustained efforts so that you can really build up capacity. Get into a rhythm. Let your body float at least as much as possible. I know some days you're going to feel like you're running through mud with a medium-sized child on your back, but it's about habitual effort. It's about making this a part of your day. It's about making the habit of making yourself get in those easy miles and then doing them well, executing. You know, we had a sports psychologist we used to work with when I was running with Reebok who said it's always helpful to measure each day, each effort as wins and losses, and then take the sum of that week. Because sometimes you're just going to have a bad day. You're going to have a bad effort. You're going to have a tough workout. But if you look at those individual efforts, and did I execute that workout? Did I execute the purpose of that daily run? That's a win. And that's a good way to look at easy runs in particular. So get into that comfortable cruise pace, cruise through those miles on your easy days, and get excited about it. I mean, you just added 3, 5, maybe 10 or 15 miles to your running bank. Hey, miles in the bank, let's take them. And know that tomorrow you're just going to be a little bit better than you were today. Trust that process, be patient, and enjoy your run. All right, that's enough for this episode. Hopefully you enjoyed my thoughts and can incorporate some of my advice into your next easy run. Until next time, go build up that engine and enjoy the ride.